Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today, our audience and our speakers. This is one of the KFTV Talks, and this one is about, obviously, shooting in Greece. My name is Wendy Mitchell. I'm going to be your moderator today. I work for Screen International, which is KFTV's sister publication, but I'm thrilled to be here today. We've got some real experts about discussing Greece as a filming location, the logistics of shooting there, the details about how productions are starting safely after COVID or during COVID, talking about the amazing incentives on offer in Greece that have been rising, the cash rebate, looking very healthy and enticing indeed. And it's been great to see productions like Daughter already restarting, one of the first major European co-productions to restart shooting. That's already been shooting in Greece, and we can talk about that a bit more. There are lots of great upcoming productions, including Ruben Östlund's Triangle of Sadness, which will start shooting in Greece in September. So just a little bit of housekeeping. I'm going to talk to the panelists for about 30 minutes, and then we'll answer as many questions as you have. Please, I would like to ask you to put the questions into the Q&A button. You'll see that at the bottom of your screen instead of putting them in the chat. It just makes it a little bit easier for us if the questions come straight into the Q&A button. And my colleague Nia is keeping an eye on that, helping us with the questions. So I think without further ado, I think most people have entered the room. I'm really delighted we have 5 experts with us here today, so I'll introduce them. We have Bettina Brokemper, who is Director of the Hellenic Film Commission, part of the Greek Film Center, and I should mention the Hellenic Film Commission and Greek Film Center are our partners on today's talk, so thank you. She's also a member of the board of the European Film Commissions Network. She's also worked as a film producer and co-producer, a film critic. God bless her. You know, I'm glad you got out of that game. We all know that's not a good profession right now, and also worked as a travel editor. So perfect job for someone with all those interests. So thank you, Vinia, for being here discussing it, and also for, like I said, for sponsoring this talk. We are also joined by Stelios Chronakis. My Greek names are probably a little rusty. Welcome, Stelios, who is head of the Department of Development of Financial and European Programs at ECOM, which is the National Center of Audiovisual Media and Communication in Greece. So welcome, Stelios. Thanks for joining us. From Germany, it looks like she's high up a mountain, a Greek cliff top. But we have Bettina Brokemper, who is producer and MD of Heimat Film in Germany. She has worked on acclaimed films like Ball, Honey, The Syrian Bride. She's been Lars von Trier's German co-producer for many, many years, including on The House That Jack Built. And as I mentioned, she is one of the producers of Daughter, which is the Greek, German, Italian co-production, now shooting, and she's going to tell us what that was like restarting production in Greece. We have Melissa Parmenter, who is producer at Revolution Films in the UK. So she's been collaborating with director Michael Winterbottom for, gosh, about 16 years now at least. And they've done 2 great projects recently in Greece, which are Greed and The Trip to Greece. So we'll talk to Melissa more about those. And last but not least, we have Costas Kefalas. Sorry, Costas.
That's right.
From Valero House Productions, one of the major producers and co-producers in Greece. He's been a line producer and production manager for 25 years. Some really major credits in film include The Lobster and Before Midnight, and for the TV side of things, the Little Drummer Girl, which was amazing and so memorable, all those Greek locations in that. So we're thrilled to have the experts here. As I mentioned, I've seen new people into the room, so I'll just remind you, if you do have questions, pop them in the Q&A button, please, instead of in the chat. And don't feel like you have to wait until the end of the chat to, oh, I've said the wrong word, chat. Don't wait till the end of our discussion before you ask a question. If somebody's saying something you want to know a little bit more about, we can jump in with questions at any time. So thanks again for joining us. We hope this will be a really useful session for you all. So Venya, I'd like to start with you. Can you just tell us a little bit the lay of the land, the state of the nation in terms of Greek production right now? As I've mentioned, some things have resumed filming, but how are things safe? Are things getting back to normal? Is that too strong a word?
Well, thank you, Wendy. Thank you all these amazing panelists to be here joining us about talking about Greece. I think it's the right word to be using when you say that things are going back to normal, because probably Costas and Stelios will agree with me. We are all very proud about how Greece has dealt with the pandemic. We've been one of the countries in Europe that we have really low figures of death casualties because of COVID. So the measures taken proved that were the right ones. So actually productions have resumed filming since May 18th, which is quite a long time now.
Wow.
The first production to be starting again was a TV domestic series, Wild Bees. And after that, also international production started already, with Daughters being the very first one, or the first European co-production to be shooting in Greece, and Bettina will be talking about that. Also, there's another French production that has also started within July, and they're actually shooting right now. And another Greek US co-production is also shooting. So a lot of shooting has started already since May, June. And all of them are following the safety protocol, which is also available on our website. And it's basically the safety guidelines that are recommended by the Ministry of Culture. It is relatively mild compared to other protocols of other countries, but I'm sure all different foreign productions coming in Greece are adjusting, and also, having a look at different protocols from their home countries as well to adjust. So the good thing is also that because of the pandemic, we didn't have any shootings that were cancelled and left the country. Of course, there was a lot of postponement, but nobody left the country, and this is really, really important to us. On the contrary, we had productions that were actually planning to shoot in neighboring countries, and because of the pandemic, changed their plans and thought of Greece. And now we are in their radar. So we are pretty hopeful that they're going to be visiting us to shoot their projects here in the end.
Yeah, that's great news. And like you said, these guidelines are on your website.
Yes.
That people can.
As well as ECOME's website, so you can find them in both websites. Yeah.
Great. And what about just basics of travel, coming in and out of Greece for international people? I mean, obviously America's having a tough time. Can Americans come to Greece right now, for instance? I don't know if Americans can go anywhere,
Well, that's the key question everybody's asking. Right now, all EU countries are allowed to fly to Greece, apart from a couple of exceptions. And no other countries are allowed to enter Greece, again, apart from some exceptions like Algeria, Australia, Morocco, Japan, Rwanda, New Zealand, Georgia, and Canada. These are all information that can be found on the website of the International Airport in Athens, Eleftherios Venizelos, on their website. They keep updating all relevant information. So with regards to US citizens, they can come to Greece if they arrive via a European country. And of course, they're subject to a COVID test. And if there are still problems in their transit, there are ways that we are working on, like specific letters from specific bodies, from embassies, from the Ministry of Culture, from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in order to enable them to arrive safely in the country. So the answer is yes. With consideration, US citizens can arrive.
Okay, great. That's good to hear. I think it makes sense maybe to go ahead and jump to Bettina. Is it daughter or daughters?
Daughter. Daughters.
Okay,
Daughter.
thank you. I want to make sure I got it right.
The title is Töchter in German. The German title is Töchter.
Okay.
Sure.
So yeah, can you tell, this is a 3-country co-production. You're a producer based in Germany. Can you tell us a little bit about what the original plan was, especially with the Greek part of the shoot, and then what you've done now instead?
Well, we started shooting in March, and we were supposed to finish by mid-May. So after 9 days of shooting, we had to stop due to government regulations in Germany. We were supposed to go from Germany to Italy and then end in Greece. This we changed now. We started back up in Greece on the 15th of June, which was very early, but it was the first time it was possible to enter the country for foreigners, and that's what we did. And we went to Amorgos, and my wonderful co-producer from Heretic made it.
So this is your backdrop, this island.
Yes, this is Amorgos. I'm already doing promotion. It's a beautiful island. You should all come and see it. That's the finale of our film, which is a little bit odd because we were shooting it chronologically. It's a European road trip, and now we're missing the middle. So we have the beginning and the end, and now we have to go into September and October to have the end of the middle part of the movie and to finish it.
Yeah, and so what were the changes you had to make when you started shooting again in June?
Well, we had to obey both countries' hygienics protocols. The good news is I'm now basically an expert only on Italy, Greece, and Germany because those were the three that concerned me. They're quite similar. They have some differences, but the Greek one was stricter than the German one. So in that sense, it was good for me because once I obeyed the Greek one, I already obeyed the German one as well. And it's going to be the same for Italy. So we decided to go with the protocol in the country we're shooting and make sure that all the needs from the other co-producers are also met. So sometimes we did more because if the German law required to do an extra test, we would do that and so on. So yeah, that was basically our decision to make sure that we honor all countries' hygienics protocols because we have crew from all countries.
And, what was it like for you actually being in Greece? And, what was the vibe on the shoot? The locals, were they ready to see film production?
Well, I can just say for me personally, it was a great relief that we could work again after being stopped in March. It was I don't know, like 200 million pounds fell off my shoulder because we could work again. And actually we asked before the producers of Heretic if they could clear with the locals, if they actually think there are zombies coming and bringing corona, or would they be willing to have us because it's a corona-free island. And I wasn't sure, and they talked to everybody, and we were very warm welcome. We worked wonderfully together with the local contacts, and everybody was happy, I think. And we came all tested negative to the island. So in that sense, it was like a big quarantine because I brought everybody on a private plane so that they wouldn't be in touch with anybody that could have COVID. And then we went straight to the island, and it was. Yeah, we were negative, the islanders were negative, and altogether it was very positive.
Very good. And is most of your cast and crew, are they mostly Germans? Are they a mix of Germans and Italians and Greeks? Or what's the mix of the...
It's mixed. We have a Greek sound crew throughout the whole film, and we had a local crew in Greece, about 50 people, and we brought about 20 German people. And then we had, of course, actors from all countries, and it's mixed. And in Italy, it will be Greek, German, and Italian. It's a typical European co-production where you bring the hats, but you take the local crew in the country.
Yeah. Cool. And yeah, I mean, was it just the story that brought you to Greece? Before COVID. Obviously.
Yeah, actually, it's based on a...
For the story, for creative reasons?
Yes, it's based on the story. The film is based on a best-selling novel in Germany called Töchter, and it's a road trip through Europe where two friends have to take the father of the one friend to Switzerland, so they think, and from there a road trip to Germany starts, and Germany, Italy, Greece, and it's based in the story to do that. And I actually had a joke because I always wanted to co-produce with Greece, but I never had a story that fit. And now I finally had the story to do it, and I was very happy.
Yeah, everybody's going to find a Greek story after seeing that photo.
Yeah, we had perfect conditions actually because it was almost like an outdoor studio, which in COVID times was extra good because we could walk to almost all of the location in the bay that we were based in. We only had one indoor location that we moved to the balcony. So COVID, in regards to COVID, it was perfect that we could be outdoors all the time and keep the distance.
Yeah.
Great.
I might jump to Melissa next, actually. I'm sort of moving around what we planned, but it just makes sense to me. So you've shot Greed in Greece, or partly in Greece, and you also obviously shot a trip to Greece in Greece. Can you, and this was pre-COVID, all of these were shot and finished pre-COVID, well done. And perfect distraction viewing, I think, the trip to Greece particularly. So yeah, I mean, you could do a trip to any country. With that one, why did you and Michael want to go to Greece to do another series of the trip?
Probably just going through our absolute favourite countries, basically, to go and visit and be in. And I think I was always a fan of keeping all of them in Europe as well. But obviously, so, I mean, Italy and Greece are very similar in a lot of ways, especially the south of Italy, where I am now, in Puglia. Feels very Greek around here. But it does feel like another world away from what we've all been going through. I'm trying to, it's just, it's such a feast for the eyes to remember watching the trip to Greece. But yeah, I mean, it's just unbelievably stunning. I mean, why you have to do the trip to Greece. That's like the obvious number one place. We actually started in, because we had the whole story, the Odysseus sort of journey home. So we started in Turkey, came across to Lesbos, went through Kavala, Athens, Hydra, ended up in Ithaca, obviously. And yeah, stunning locations, the most incredible, people to work with, and Benny obviously was fantastic. Again, we've got all the permissions did all the archaeological sites. Yeah, it went really incredibly smoothly. We worked with a brilliant fixer called Eleni Fanarioutou. She's a fixer in Greece. Yeah, she was fantastic. I mean, we basically brought our crew mainly from the UK, the same team we use on all of the trips. And so we picked up just a few, who we needed in Greece, but everyone was brilliant. Sorry, just diverged there. Why Greece? Because perfect in every way, we found out.
I mean, Michael obviously is such an international-minded filmmaker, and shot in India and the Middle East and Hong Kong or wherever. How would you say shooting in Greece compares to, recent shoots in Italy, for instance? I mean, is the Greek sort of production and crews up to international standard that you expect anywhere else, or are they better than that, or what's it like?
There were slightly different experiences, because the trip to Greece was mainly our UK crew with just a few Greek sort of, fixer, local DIT, a couple of camera assistants, and it was sort of a road moving, just one small unit moving across. That was quite different to, like in Italy, we did a sort of full-blown production with Daniel Bruhl in Tuscany and Siena, and that was more of a local Italian production with lots of crew, and so you can't really compare really so easily. I should think they're quite similar. I mean, obviously, when you do things like the tax credits, a lot of bureaucracy comes with that, and a lot of, but that's to be expected, when you do it like this. When we shot Greed, that was 3 weeks in Mykonos, and that was very much, and that was quite similar. Michael, it's quite something that he likes to do, is basically try and use the local place and the people there as much as possible. So we flew into Mykonos, chose the hotel as a location. People who run the hotel were basically running our shoot as well in some ways, because they were like managing the location and all the, because it was a big party on Mykonos. So but it was like the hotel was organizing the big party as they would for a wedding. And we were just filming within that. But we did have Christos Giotis, who was Film Greece. He did the tax credit for us, just for those 3 weeks. We just needed someone to get the rebate, just so that, for Sony and Film Corp, it would be quite good to get that. We were one of the first to get the rebate, which was great. Diverged totally with with the question.
That's exactly what we wanted to know, just how it was. And I mean, did you find it, was Mykonos, you know, somewhere it's, you know, very geared up for tourism, obviously. Were they ready for a big shoot like this?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we did it in October, so it was a bit out of season, just as all the places were closing. So we sort of had to use the nightclub when it closed. So we chose October. We were very lucky; the weather was good. Although I'm sure it's always good that time. Very windy. But the hotel had said, "Don't worry, it's never windy in October," and it was literally the entire shoot. It was like everyone's hair. It's just like, oh my god, it was very windy. But so it wasn't a crowded town, and then obviously it was the locations were the hotels, so we took over the whole places. We weren't really disturbing the island that much. We filmed on the beaches a bit, and the mayor of Mykonos was fantastic, and we used quite a lot of local contacts, local people, so we were very much organic part of the island and the shoot, so it all felt very natural, which is how we like to work generally. And but yeah,
that's a great way to do it. I'm still upset I didn't get a set visit invitation, but I'm not going to hold that against.
And if I may add, Melissa and Wendy, so I apologize. If I may add, apart from Mykonos, Greed was also shooting on Delos Island. And that was a very unique occasion because it was the first time that an international shoot was shooting on Delos Island, which is an archaeological site, the entire island, a very peculiar and unique location.
Yeah, amazing. And it looks absolutely stunning in the film, I think. Yeah, I'm taking a look at this Q&A button. I can see Melissa's already mentioned the incentives. I think now is a perfect time to jump in with Stelios and hear about the cash rebate and the incentive and the fact that they've gotten even more attractive recently. And maybe you can tell us how those work. Yeah, there's already been 3 or 4 questions coming in about, tell us more about, you know, these incentives. So Stelios, can you give us a little overview of what's available? Oh, I don't think the audio is working for Stelios. Try one more time. Can anybody else hear him? Is this a problem on my end? No. Stelios, maybe we try to reboot you, or can we hear you like that? Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I cannot hear you very well, but okay. So yes, we have a new law in the process of making further improvements with the aim of making it even more attractive to the filmmakers. A new cash rebate law just came up. It's the third law in 3 years of operation, and it increases the amount of cash rebate from 35% to 40% of the eligible cost incurred in Greece. The above the lines expenses from 35% to 20% that used to be. This is to allow the rebate to cover a larger part of the expenditures, which is usually very high in big productions. Plus, we minimize the application deadline. Until now, producers could apply for the CMAP up to 2 months before they start filming in Greece, the latest. Now we're chopping off this to just 10 days.
10 days?
10 days.
Wow.
The approval period is 1 month. It used to be 2 months. At the end of the project, we pay in a shorter period of time because the procedure is still precise, but it's simpler and more effective with the new law. There is still no cap on the budget, which is another major competitive advantage of the Greek incentives scheme compared to those of other countries. This is, and I can come back with questions because I will put the headphones because I cannot hear you very well. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry for this.
Yeah, apologies for technical issues, everybody. I'm sure you. So Stelios, can you hear us now? You can hear us, but we can't hear you.
Yes, perfect. I can hear you very perfect.
There we go. Hey, solved. And can you talk about, are these, what are the sort of minimum spend levels? You know, are these incentives only for very bigger budget productions, or can it be used for more smaller independent shoots?
No, look, mainly we want to attract big productions, so this is why we make all these improvements. But we care about we have the minimums are going down for documentary and animation from 100,000 euros to 60,000 euros. And now we accept application for short movies and with a minimum of 60,000 euros. And we have some more, we have minimums for TV programs, TV series, or for more episodes.
Okay, great. And as we mentioned, Ecom administers the rebate incentive. You can find out more information there, but I think the Hellenic Film Center also has information about the financial side. Venia, did you have anything to add about the incentives and the rebate?
No, Stelios has covered it all. Basically, there used to be 3 levels of minimum spend up until now, up until recently. There used to be the 1,100 euros as a minimum spend for film and fiction and documentaries, and it used to be 30,000 per episode for TV series and 60,000 for digital games. So these 3 categories have now become 5, 6. So there's a lot of a multi-layered minimum spend according to the difference of the audiovisual works that are submitted. And of course, as you said, all relevant information is available on the website of the Hellenic Film Commission, which we also always get from Ecome, who's handling the rebate.
Okay. Thank you. I think we'll come back to some more about that, but I wanted to bring in Costas finally. Thank you for being patient. You work with a lot of productions. Is something like this increased rebate really making your phone ring off the hook? It's a very attractive financial offering in Greece. Are you seeing a lot of international interest now?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Hello to everybody. Hello to our audience. I would say to begin with that I'm not sure whether COVID or the 40% is more attractive for Greece, because right now, even before the new legislation, due to the COVID situation, we had quite a lot of requests. And as Venia said, productions were about to go to the neighboring countries, but still, even production that was scheduling for Canada is looking into Greece at the moment, shooting this fall. So, I guess the 40% will make a difference, an additional difference, but already the rebate and the incentives is strong. People understood that they are here to stay, because sometimes things happen and, you have step backs, but that's not the case. And the most important thing to me is that at the same time, the public is getting educated in what a film production means and how this can be to a benefit to the beneficiary to the country. And at the same time, the crews are growing. Having said that, for example, when the crisis started back in 2010, people that used to work in cinema and television left the industry for doing other things. But people are coming back because, now what we need to do is to educate young people. And that's another important leg, let's say, in deepening the incentives and the production in Greece scheme.
So yeah, I wanted to talk about crew a little bit, and how much sort of really top of the game crew is available. Could you do 2 or 3 really big shoots at the same time, or do you need to stagger some of that?
Define top of the game. That's a tough one.
Well, super crew. Our crew was great.
Really Bettina, great. You've had a good experience with crew?
Yes, wonderful experience with crew. I mean, art direction, and electricians, anybody. production, second AD, anybody I had was highly professional and fully up to the game. So, I don't know how many of these are in Greece, but the ones I had were really good.
Look, Wendy, to be honest and answer to your question, if you know 3 productions from the big 5 would at the same time come to Greece, we may end up having, you know, problems in trying to find the proper people for each and every one. I mean, a crew, a unit of 200 people is not the same as a unit of 50 or 60 or 70. So at the moment, that's the situation, but especially the last months, some months before the COVID, and especially the last couple of months, there are more and more talks regarding the investments that need to be done in Greece in order to deepen, you know, the things that the country can offer to international productions. And having said that, you know, if there are several stages, more stages, or larger group and more crew members, etc., I would say that this is a part of the world which is very, very, very convenient to come, stay, have fun, and do your production.
Yeah. And what about
not because I'm Greek.
You know, shooting permits and things like that? You know, I'm thinking especially if Park Chan-wook wants to go shoot at the Acropolis, is that a lot of work?
At night is very easy.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. You know, it's everything. Everything depends on the specifics of the production and what the country right now. Back in time, it was a bit more difficult, but right now everybody understood what is at stake. So they discuss, they listen, and they are trying to find a way to do it. Having that said, they need to be very friendly and hospitable to the people, to the public that need to go up to Acropolis, for example, that came all over from China and visit Acropolis. So to lock down Acropolis Rock, this will be a discussion.
Yeah.
But still, it can be done. There are ways to work around it. There are ways, if you have some time to prepare it, and you know way in advance when this will happen, there are ways to do it properly, and with respect, very respectful to everybody and the public audience as well as your, you know, people from abroad.
If I may add on this, Wendy, because obviously all these filming permits regarding archaeological sites, the Acropolis and all other thousands of locations we've got, are issued by the Ministry of Culture. And as Costas said, like Greek producers who are applying for a filming permit, alongside with them, the Hellenic Film Commission is trying to establish a very healthy relationship with the Ministry of Culture in order to have an open dialogue and make them understand and translate what this means, you know, what this filming permit means for the country. So even if at the beginning they are skeptical and hesitant, they are now more and more eager to understand and listen with open ears and see that it's for the benefit of all to issue the permits.
Right. Venia, you and I were also talking, you know, I tend to think of Greece as the Acropolis and these beautiful islands, but there's a lot more locations. You know, you've got cities, you were saying there's mountains, there's snow in Greece. You know, do you guys have a locations database or anything at the Film Commission, or is that something individual production companies help with? Oh, we might be freezing on Venia.
Regards to the locations that are available in Greece, right?
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, Greece is well known all over the world, all over the globe for its antiquities and for its cultural heritage and for its amazing, unique islands in both the Aegean and the Ionian Sea. But Greece is not only that. Greece is also an amazing mainland with amazing locations that span from forests and lakes and even volcanoes. We have an amazing volcano on an island, on the island of Nisyros, where a great shoot was shot there, a Spanish-Greek co-production last year, Window to the Sea. And the volcano looks amazing. We also have snow-capped mountains up in the mainland, like Olympus Mountain.
Slight technical issue, bear with us.
I heard that people come to Greece to shoot by wood, use essence as by wood.
By where?
By wood.
Oh, yes. Okay, good. And Costas, have you worked with productions where Greece is doubling for somewhere else?
Oh yes, we have. Yeah. For example, the Little Drummer Girl shot for Greece as well as 3 or 4 more territories.
Okay.
So that was, you know, one of the keys for them to come. Unfortunately, it was the last production not to take advantage of the incentives,
Yeah.
because they missed it for 25 days or so. But still, they were so happy and amazed to find these stunning locations and being able to double other areas, because, you know, this is a story taking place in 9 different territories. So they shot 4 of them. Here, they shot part of it in London and then the rest in the Czech Republic. So, you know, they got all the international or multinational heritage of John le Carré's, you know, novels. I know that another colleague shot a whole series, TV series called Tehran, where there was no involvement of Greece whatsoever in the script, and it's entirely shot in Athens. So the answer is yes.
Yeah, lots of possibilities. We're getting a lot of great questions coming in, so I think I'm going to start firing some of these questions for you. Let's see. I think Manolis was asking about Greece playing other countries, so I think we've done that one. We've got a lot of questions on the incentive. I might try to group those together. Let's see. Tony Armour is asking, if a US-based production were to come to Greece and needed actors that could pass for American, are there enough in Greece actors that can play American?
Define again enough.
Yeah. You need 200?
I would say,
I don't know. Yeah.
We do not have recognizable international stars. We don't have a star system and a bilingual one whatsoever. But to me, this is one of the aspects of film production that we need to educate and broaden our base. I understand, and I 100% agree that this is a key question that we would love to be able to offer more.
Well, actually, Tony's saying it's just maybe a handful of day players, extras.
Yes.
So I'm sure you can find.
The answer to that is absolutely yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. Let's see. Yeah, if you are doing an English-speaking production or English-speaking crew, is there a language barrier? Do most people that work on crews speak good English, perfect English?
Never faced the language barrier in Greece. I don't think so. No, I mean, it's an international way of working, more or less. It's the same everywhere. And us Greeks, you know, we have a way, even maybe we don't speak perfect English, but we have a way to getting through and being understood and understand what English-speaking people are saying to us. So no.
And also never underestimate.
I don't know. Yeah.
international crews always find a way to communicate, no matter where you put them together. I mean, the technical details are the same. They all know their job, so they will find a way to communicate. Really.
And Melissa, when you were on Mykonos, was that all in English? You could speak to everybody in English, or?
Yeah, everyone speaks brilliant English. Puts us all to shame that we can't speak Greek.
Yes.
As well.
And Bettina, I'm wondering, does it have any sort of intimate moments? Because we've got Sina Boyer asking, you know, do the guidelines let actors get intimate or do a kissing or hugging scene, you know, or is that allowed in Greece right now?
We were lucky we didn't have this problem, but if you put the actors in quarantine and they're tested negative and they stay in quarantine and they don't have contact with somebody else, it's allowed. So it's a little bit complicated, but it's doable. But we didn't have this problem because our script didn't call for that.
Yeah, okay.
One problem that we didn't have.
Okay. Somebody's asking about facilities for shooting at sea, in particular shooting storms at sea. This is from Deb Havens. And yeah, I guess I'm wondering also, you know, are there water tanks? Are there studio facilities? What kind of facilities would be available for something like that? Costas, do you know?
Is it for me? Okay. No worries. There are few stages, yes. There are issues on their availability sometimes because they work closely with Greek television shows. There are no water tanks, no. Having said that, we've shot things, you know, we've tried to do things in the sea, but quite protected in you know, small gulfs. But again, to me, this is a matter of the country and the industry investing in such facilities, so there are more things to offer to the foreign productions. Yeah, but at the moment, few stages, no water tanks.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of questions about, I think, right for Stelios. Thank you. People kind of confused about the 40%, and is that above the line, below the line, both? Can you tell us a bit more about above and below the line and what's eligible?
Hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's perfect. Okay, it's simple. If you come to Greece and you invest in Greece in audiovisual program, the amount of the eligible expenses that will happen in Greece, then you will get back 40%. This is as simple as that. The money you put in audiovisual works in Greece, you take back 40%. But you are allowed to have expenses above the line till the amount of 30% of the total eligible expenses.
Okay.
So I think it's not so complicated. It's 40% the total eligible and 35%, you know, the amount of the above the line percentage in the total budget eligible.
And somebody, welcome back, Vanya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of a few people that ask above and below the line. Well, somebody's asking about co-production potential and, you know, funding. Is that, are co-productions a sort of separate category? Are they all eligible for this? Or Vanya, do you want to answer that?
Well, in terms of funding, the main state funding sources in Greece is the Greek Film Center and also ERT, the public broadcaster on TV, which has started recently to fund again films for cinema. The Greek Film Center has multiple funding programs where one can apply for co-productions as well, as long as there is a Greek majority co-producer or a minority co-producer. So according to the relationship of the production between the Greek producer and the foreign producers, one can apply in different funding programs. But also, obviously, it goes without saying that all co-productions are eligible for the cash rebate as well.
Okay.
Both co-productions and domestic and international, any type of scheme in terms of co-producing is eligible for the rebate.
Okay. And Eleni is asking a follow-up question for that is, if you're doing an international co-production, do you need Greek private investment, meaning equity investors in Greece, to make that happen?
Not necessarily. If one can find an investor, it's very welcome, but it's not a necessity. It's not a prerequisite. One can apply even without an investor.
Okay. I'm just going to keep firing some. We're getting some great questions. Ramphis is asking, do you have to quarantine at all right now with the COVID measures? Bettina, did you have to do any quarantine?
Yes, but we were early, and it was also due to the hygienic protocol and the changes weekly. So I'm not the right person, I think, to say, because we finished and the rules changed. But yes, we did 5 days. Because we came tested negative, and then we quarantined the extras 5 extra days.
Okay. If you're coming to stay now or next month, do you have to quarantine, Venia? Do you know?
Wendy, this is something that changes day by day, and right now people are subject to test when they arrive at the airport in Athens. And if anybody ends up with a positive note, they're free to go. So the country that arrives in the country, in Greece, and it depends on the test results. But
Okay.
one should be prepared that they are subject to a test upon arrival.
Okay. We've got a question from Chris Margetis, who is sort of piggybacking on the intimacy question. He's got an action-heavy film. He's saying, are stuntmen available? Would there be really restricted guidelines on doing fights right now in the guidelines?
Maybe Costas has something to say there.
Okay. Look, due to COVID, yes, there are restrictions, but I need to say that stunt expertise is not available in Greece thus far. Is one of the areas that we lack expertise. Having said that, there are great guys in the area that we are working with, both Hungary, Bulgaria, Romania, that we usually, use when we have that kind of need. So now at the moment, I'm not, the protocol is not specifically mentioning something about the fight scenes, but judging from the intimacy scenes that are mentioned, I would guess we follow the same rules,
Okay.
which they are not, you can't shoot them, but you need to follow measures before and after the shoot of these scenes.
Yeah, I would add to that according to the healthy measures, like actor scenes where there are intimacy among them, the protocol says that any actor with intimacy scenes have to, wash their hands before the take and after immediately. So obviously this applies to any stunt fight scenes. With regards to whether or not we have stuntmen, the reason why I asked Costas to step in is because the Hellenic Film Commission was setting up our industry guide 3 years ago in our research on all the different, professions available in the film industry in Greece. We couldn't find any, valid information with regards to stuntmen being available in Greece. So, as Costa said, that's something that we lack.
Okay. Sorry to hark on this, but I think several people are confused about what exactly is eligible for the rebate. Is it documentaries, TV shows, short films, commercials, everything, animation?
Everything that you mentioned, apart from commercials,
Okay.
apart from TV reality shows.
Okay.
So basically, it's a long list of eligibility. The list of eligibility among the audiovisual works is quite long, and obviously it's available on the appropriate legislation at the COME website and on our website. So I advise people to visit our website, filmcommission.gr, under the incentive section, and ecome.media.
Great.
I would add. Sorry, Stelios. Stelios, we can't hear you.
Stelios, yeah.
Okay. Moreover, it's digital games, and now we accept application for audiovisual works for TV streaming platforms, video on demand, TV subscriber programs, and video games project for PCs, tablets, mobile phones, etc. So
Great.
it's all this.
And I'm going to hark on this because several people have asked again. Can you talk just the minimum budget for sort of each major category? Like somebody was asking with a short film, if they have a budget of 60,000 euros, would they be eligible with a short film?
I will tell all the minimum. So for fiction is 100,000 euros. For animation documentary is 60,000 euros. And this goes for the short movie film. And for video games in 30,000 euros.
Okay. Great, thank you. I just wanted, several people had asked, so let's see. Yeah, so I think Petra Terzi was asking, where do you apply to get the rebate? And I guess that's ECOME. You would apply through ECOME, but you can get information at the Hellenic Film Commission and ECOME to see the list of eligible expenses, everything there. And yeah, I guess, does the Greek producer always apply, or can the foreign producer apply?
Either.
The Greek producers apply, and he makes the application, and either he has the right to get a rebate or the co-producer. It goes by their own deal. We follow what they like.
And Stelios, can I clarify? It's not necessary that it is a co-producer. A Greek entity, a Greek person, a Greek VAT company applies always, but it's not necessary to be co-producing the project. They can only be servicing the project, and still they are the ones that should apply.
And somebody else, somebody asking anonymously, is this incentive active right now? You can apply and get it, or is it sort of being ratified and coming in a month or two? It's now?
It's just a matter of days because we're in the transition period, but it's just days, and everything will be ready in a few days for anybody to apply.
The rebate is on and is valid in effect since April 2018, right? So anybody can apply right now. If somebody applies right now, they're eligible for the 35%.
Okay.
But it's a matter of days that it's actually going to be in effect, the raise of the percentage.
So wait a few days, everybody. You get more money. Don't be silly. Costas has to jump on a call, so we're gonna say goodbye to Costas. Everybody else.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Bye. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The rest of us will stay another few minutes just to wrap a few more questions. And Stelios, did you have another comment?
No, we are open 24/7, and we have a much more. We have another incentive like tax relief, and so that goes for about. We try to attract the investors, and they deduct 30% of the eligible cost from the tax authorities. That goes about investors that have a Greek IBAN and Greek ID, or goes with the international that wants to establish a branch in Greece. So it's actually there are two incentives: it's the cash rebate and the tax relief program.
Okay, and they can be combined, yes? The two can work together, the incentive and the rebate?
you can make two applications for both of the incentives. It goes together, but you don't. You just don't have to sum up more than 50% of your total budget from state money. It's 50%. For cooperation in EU, it's 60%, and for difficult audiovisual plays, it goes to 80%.
Okay, that seems fair. Nobody's going to pay for your whole film. Bettina and Melissa, I would love to ask you as we start to wrap up, just any tips you have for people, international productions thinking of going to Greece, of what to do, who to hire, where to go. It sounds like you would both recommend the experience.
I'd always call Venia first. First port of call.
That's your first call.
No, she's fantastic. But I can't think. Everything was great. I can't think. Just go, shoot, Greece.
Yeah, shooting Greece, it's a pleasure experience. Great crew, great locations, great support from the film center, and I had wonderful co-producers from Heretic, so I can recommend them, Konstantinos and Giorgos. Good thing is you only have to remember very little names. Most of the men are named Giorgos, Yannis, or Konstantinos. So if you just try one of those three, it's like a good chance that you have the right name.
Now, I know those Heretic guys are really good, and we should mention they're the Greek co-producer on Ruben Ostlund's Triangle of Sadness that'll be shooting in September, as we mentioned. So, Venia, can you remind us, as we wrap up, where people can get more information? I know you've said it a few times, but just so everybody listening can get the information they need.
Everything with regards to, industry guide, Greek companies for networking, filming permits guidance, incentives, and many other things under the website of the Hellenic Film Commission, which is filmcommission.gr. And anything related with the incentive can be found on the website of ECOME, which is ecome.media.
Great, and ECOME is
can I add something?
.media, yes.
Because my connection was really poor and I had to leave you for briefly. Apologies for that. I don't know whether when we were talking about locations available in Greece, whether when we mentioned that Greece has also, backed up for other countries in recent shoots.
Yes, we talked to Costas about that a little bit, which was great. But it's a good reminder because Manolis has mentioned just in the comments that Do Not Hesitate was a feature film.
Exactly, the Dutch.
Yeah, the Dutch and Heretic again, shot in Crete, and that was for Syria. So there's another good example of it doesn't have to be Greece for Greece.
And we work very closely with Heretic with regards to this shoot with the Ministry of Culture in order to facilitate the fees because they were rising quite a lot. So yeah, I mean, this is really important. There are so many locations that can, showcase other countries. And thanks to amazing location managers like Manolis Christotakis and so many others scattered around in Greece, you can find many different locations.
Yeah. So it really sounds like, things are going very well in Greece right now, to sum up. You were able to restart safely quicker than most countries after COVID and have been, encouraging people to follow those safety guidelines and get things moving again. And you've got this incentive being increased. Venia, does it feel like things are booming?
It feels like things are moving and we're all very pleased about that, Wendy, because, it's been such a struggle to get out of the crisis years for Greece. And it was such a very gray period for all of us, being in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. So it's so refreshing and rewarding to be in the spotlight for the right reasons at this time. So we're all very happy. We're all very proud. We're welcoming everybody who's interested to shoot here to apply it and get to know, to ask, to get information. So yeah, I mean, authorities are more eager, more and more, to find out what it means to host these productions for economy, domestic and regional economy in a national and regional level. So we're all working very closely in order to have the best results possible.
Great. I think that's a very positive note to wrap up on. thank you all so much for being here. We should also mention that, of course, KFTV has great information about shooting in Greece on the website, and listings of companies and such. But thank you so much to our speakers, Stelios, Bettina, Melissa, Venia, and Costas, who is already gone. I want to thank the whole team at KFTV, Chris, Evans, Jackie, Nia, and Sarah, who were making this effortless behind the scenes. So thank you so much. I hope that was useful to everybody. And I think KFTV is going to repost the video if you want to rewatch it or tell anybody. And yeah, we'll try to make sure that everybody gets those websites if you didn't quite catch the URLs. But thanks again to the Hellenic Film Commission and Greek Film Center for helping us present this talk today. Thanks, and everybody, I hope you have wonderful Greek shoots ahead of you this summer and the rest of the year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, KFTV, for everything. Great supporters of Greece.
Thanks everybody for joining us.